Star Fox 64 is a classic, maybe even a masterpiece. A game designed to be super replayable and urging the player to strive for perfection while providing fast-paced and challenging levels with some epic boss fights. And while I would love to cover the game as a whole at some point, I want to talk about its absolute peak. The level that I'll honestly just pick the game back up to replay for a bit, just for the fun of it. And with that, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Greatest Levels in Gaming. Today we'll be talking about Area 6, the penultimate level of Star Fox 64, and its big grand final challenge for the player.
It's almost over. We're in your debt. Come back in one piece, Fox.
Will do, General.
Cayman here. No problems.
Not even 20 seconds into the mission and we already whacked a dude. That's gotta be a record. The first defensive line starts by the game already throwing out defense satellites, tons of enemies, mines, and every projectile you can think of, and honestly, you probably won't struggle with getting a high score in this level. You'll have so many points from kills that you need just to survive that you might even get 2 or 3 extra lives out of it by the time the mission's over and done with. And you get a greater feeling of power as you start taking out larger ships in Andross's navy while getting special lines from Rob telling you he's got your back, and is also blasting through Venom forces. It's really awesome, and the missiles coming in are a little bit intense, but it's pretty thrilling. I like it a lot. Of course, shortly after the game throws a bunch of big missiles at you and it becomes a do or die moment, as these things are basically guaranteed to kill one of your teammates. Usually it's Slippy. That's a lame-ass scream. Anyways, from here it's more enemies as Andross himself starts threatening you. He's shit-talking, sure, but he's nervous with how you're tearing through his entire navy with 4 guys and a robot. Then you have this little moth guy that's kind of a mini-boss, but he's mostly just there to distract you from more points to score by taking out the satellites. I fall for the trap every single time. I also want to take a moment to praise the excellent music of this level. It's a very fast and frantic song, while also taking a little bit of inspiration from the game's main theme, and it really does hammer home the we're coming in on the end of the game. It does a great job cementing the mad dash, so to speak. When you reach the checkpoint, you know you've broken through the first defensive line. Here, the enemy formations start getting a little bit more coordinated with how they attack, but since they're all grouped together, it very quickly becomes a game of using bombs and charge shots to knock off multiple enemies in a single go for extra points. A small detail you probably noticed, but might not have, though, is how you really feel like you're progressing towards Venom as the planet is actively getting larger and larger in the background as the level goes on, which is a really cool detail that I like. However, these defensive lines are not all the same, because that was literally it for the second line. There's nothing else to it. The last line of defense is pretty short as well, but it's taking out all of their battleships in one giant blaze of glory, while taking out whatever enemy fighters they may have left as well, and it really does feel satisfying because, well, when it's backed up by the fast-paced, high-energy battle music, it's great. But of course, the last line doesn't really go on for very long either, and we gotta cap this battle off somehow, and Star Fox 64 knows exactly how to end its best level.
These guys are crazy! Dang! Deploy it now!
Crud! We were so close to Venom!
Our big final challenge of the level is the fight with Gorgon. I'm not sure if I'd say he's the best boss in the game, but he's definitely top 3. Sadly though, he's just a super weapon, so there's no real character or personality to throw onto this fight, and as far as I can tell, he's just a machine and not an actual bioweapon, like Vulcan or Bakun. But who cares? The boss fight's super fun. Unlike other bosses in the game that can be killed in 20 seconds or less, if you know what you're doing, that rule does not apply to Gorgon. Some people may not like the fact that you can't speed kill him, but I'm kind of glad that the game's hard route we have at least one boss that doesn't completely get shredded by hyper lasers, and mechanically it's one of the more complex bosses as we have to alternate between destroying his 3 energy balls as well as destroying his 3 tentacles whenever the body is closed. Also, I'm convinced that the final boss of Kirby Planet Robobot was at least partially inspired by this boss fight. And sure, you could say that the boss fight boils down to just shoot the glowy spot, then shoot the wiggly spot, but that's ignoring the absurd amount of missiles flying your way, forcing you to stay on the move, or the additional enemy fighters that fire at you, or the other attacks Gorgon has. Now, I'm not sure what the general consensus is, but I would actually consider this to be the hardest boss in the game. The second hardest for me personally would be Macbeth, but only if you're fighting him straight up and not just crashing the train like you should do. And since there's a very high chance Slippy is going to get whacked by the missiles earlier in the level, I very much appreciate that his shield changes color so you know you're making progress in the fight, even without a health bar going down, and when his shield goes down to red, he pulls out the Death Star laser that you don't want to get hit by if the dramatic charge up and even one of your surviving wingmates telling you to watch the hell out wasn't a good enough indicator for you. The boss is a significant challenge, but I think he's the best way to cap off the game's most intense level. There's no extra nonsense or bonus objectives to worry about here, you're locked into the game's true ending, and the game is just going to give you one last skill check to make sure you're ready for the true final boss fight. And that's all there is to Area 6. It's not a very long level, averaging around 7 to 8 minutes, but to be fair, none of the levels in Star Fox 64 are very long, and that's, well, okay. That's not the kind of game Star Fox 64 is setting out to be. I like my super quick and replayable high-score focus games from time to time. I know this is a short video for my standards, but I decided I don't really care how long or short these particular videos are. I want these videos to be, well, made purely out of love for the levels and the games they're in. I apologize for those who saw the first 2 episodes and then thought I abandoned the series. I just had to figure out what I really wanted to do with this video series. As of now, I'm going to try and make this particular series of Greatest Levels in Gaming a bit of a monthly upload, but I suppose we'll have to wait and see how everything pans out. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. If you have any suggestions for other amazing levels and games, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you'd like to see more content of varying quality, consider liking, subscribing, and hyping the video. And I'll see you all next time in the next episode of Greatest Levels in Gaming. Until then, take care.